Last night was the fourth night of Surah Simon, which means that this evening we are moving on to the mid of שבחסד. Mid of Hod, which is the mid of Aaron HaKohen, Oyev Shalom V'Reiv Shalom Oyeves Habris U'Mekarben L'Torah. Aaron HaKohen was the one that loved peace, pursued peace, loved people and brought them close to the Torah. Which means that the relationship between the mid of Aaron, the mid of Hod, and the mid of the Chesed of Avraham Avinu is quite well related. These two midas have a lot to do with each other. But whereas Chesed, the mid of Chesed is outwardly channeled. Whenever a person is trying to do good for somebody else, they want to build a relationship to show their love, their care and concern. The mid of Chesed is expansive. The mid of Hod is restrictive. It is diminishing. And it is diminishing of oneself for the good of someone else. That's the broad definition of the Midas HaHod. And there are a number of translations of the word Hod because this relates to a number of different areas of our lives, and they are all interrelated with this single yesod. The word Hod relates to the idea of being modeh, of being grateful for something. Gratitude indicates that we have received something that is not even necessarily something that we needed, but is indicative of being in the receiving position. Meaning, I understand that I am on the receiving end of that which you are giving me. I'm not the giver in this relationship, you're the giver right now in this relationship. That's called Midas HaHod. Midas HaHod, the word to be modeh is also the lashon to be misvadeh, to confess, to admit, to acquiesce, to acknowledge. The lashon of vidui is the lashon of being modeh, of acknowledging, acquiescing, and confessing the fact that we are vulnerable, that we have succumbed, that we have submitted, that we have messed up. That's also in the world of being modeh, of being misvadeh, of being a recipient. All of that is in the world of Hod. Now the question is, how do we use that midah to enhance and to advance our midas hachesed? So the first thing to note is when we recognize and realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has created us and provided us with this incredible world, that none of this is our making, none of this is our doing. We are born into an incredible universe with everything that we could possibly need in order to survive, in order to thrive, in order to succeed, in order to grow. That, by definition, requires a sense of acquiescence, a sense of acknowledgement, and a sense of admission in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That, and this is what David HaMelech says in Tehillim, Hu asanu v'loi anachnu. And there's a ksav and a kri in that passage. Hu asanu, he made us. Says David HaMelech in the Ksav, the way that it's written is V'loi anachnu, and we didn't make us. Hu asanu, that's obvious. Hu asanu v'loi anachnu. That is a factual statement. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us. We did not create ourselves. That, by the way, is the opposite of what Paro Melech Mitzrayim wanted to announce. I am in charge of the world, like the Navi says. Li yari v'ani asisiu. The Nile is mine and I made it. Meaning, the whole world is mine. I'm in charge of everything. This is my strength, my power that created everything. For a Jew to recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is in Mizmor L'Seder, the Mizmar of the Midah of Hod, Hu asanu, he made us, v'loi anachnu, and not us. How do we read that? We don't read it with an aleph, we read it with a vav. Now it sounds exactly the same. But the kri is, Hu asanu v'loi anachnu means, he made us, and therefore we belong to him. Those are the two sides of the Midas HaHod. Meaning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made us, He made us, we didn't. And therefore, I acknowledge, I accept, I acquiesce that I therefore owe him something. I owe him, what do I owe him? Midas HaChesed. To recognize, firstly, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves me, because he did all of this for me. But also then, to enhance my Avos Hashem. Meaning, by recognizing the midah of Hod, I recognize, I acquiesce, I acknowledge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made me and made this whole world for me. I therefore grow to an appreciation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Midas HaHod induces a sense of Ahava, which is Midas HaChesed. That's Hod Shebachesed. That's point one. Ben Adam L'Makom. Ben Adam L'Atzmo. Whenever a person has an opportunity to do Chesed, so the question is, how do you feel about your opportunity to do Chesed? You should feel very good about that. But there are some people in some situations that a person does Chesed and then feels like, yeah, Taka, I'm a Bal Chesed, and that's a good thing, and it's true. You should be very proud of the fact that you're Bal Chesed. But the Hod Shebachesed is to be modeh that my capacity to do Chesed comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's a deep work of midos and humility, which is a large chunk of Midas HaHod, is understanding with anava, with humility, that my capacity to do Chesed is important, and I've developed it, and I've worked on it, and it's something that I'm very proud of. But even my capacity to work on my Midas HaChesed is something that I need to be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for. That's Hod Shebachesed, meaning through my gratitude to Hashem, I become a greater Bal Chesed, because I realize that even my Chesed doesn't come as a result of me being a Gavra. It comes as a result of the fact that there's a Rebbeinu Shalom that's given me all of these wonderful things in the world, and therefore I can be a greater Bal Chesed because I'm grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's in the word of Hod Shebachesed Ben Adam La'atzma. What about Ben Adam Lechavero? So Ben Adam Lechavero is to part of the chesed that a person does for another human being is being grateful to them. And this is sometimes the hardest chesed for a person to give. And I'll say it b'zeh lashon, and I hope nobody takes offense. Maybe you should take offense. Sometimes you see somebody post something on social media and you like it, but you don't click like on it. Yes? You like it, but you don't say I like it. You're not moide. Right? You'll share it with your friends. You'll screenshot it and send it to your WhatsApp group. But you won't click like on it. Nah, it's pastish for me to like their thing. You know this Yetzirah? You'll take somebody else's stuff and you'll share it because you like it. But you won't give them the simcha of saying thank you for it. You won't give them that. Because there's a Yetzirah that says, I want to give, but I don't want to be moide where it comes from. Don't want to be moide where it comes from. And sometimes the greatest chesed that you can do for somebody else is to be moide to their chesed to you. When somebody gives something to you and you show real gratitude, you say, thank you. Thank you, I mean it for real. You gave me something, you did something for me, and I have tremendous gratitude for you. Beautiful. I'm honored that I have been able to be a recipient of this. Everybody feels geschmack when they hear that. When somebody says a good Dvar Torah, and you go up to them and say, thank you, that was beautiful. I enjoyed that, I appreciated that. It was a good chiddush. It makes people feel geschmack. Everybody knows it makes you feel good. Makes you feel good. And when somebody denies that from you, you don't feel as good. You don't know, do they like it? Hod Shebachesed means that one of the things that you do to be mitchased with other people is midas HaHod. That's part of the chesed that you do for other people. Is in saying thank you. Is in displaying gratitude to them. Sometimes it's the greatest chesed that you can do for a person. Is to be able to say thank you to them. They know that their efforts on you weren't wasted. And to be able to display that, to be able to educate that, to be able to show that to other people, to say I'm really grateful, to demonstrate that, that's a big midah. To be able to say I'm moide. And of course this is a big chelik of the geula, because the Gemara tells us in Masechus Megillah, Kol ha'omer b'shem omer maybe geula la'olam. That's Hod Shebachesed. That if you say something in somebody else's name, it brings geula to the world, because it creates these big bonds of love between people. Everybody is turned on by this. Baruch Hashem, the Torah that I'm teaching is appreciated. The Torah that's being received is appreciated. The gift that you gave me, the tzedakah that you, thank you so much. Person says, thank you so much. It's tremendous chesed. And that's also ben adam lechaver the midah of Sebachsed B'Hashem Yisbarach to be continued.